Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and happy 2024. I wanted to kick off the new year by just taking it back to basics, and I wanted to share with you my current glowy, flawless base routine, foundation routine, whichever you prefer. And you know, sometimes you get in a makeup rut and it's like your makeup is fine, but you're not really excited to sit down and do your makeup. And then there's other times where all of the products you're using are just clicking, and it's like the coverage, the shades, the colors, just everything is like coming together perfectly, and it makes you feel so good just to sit down and do your makeup. That's how I've been feeling lately. A lot of sirens today, guys, a lot of crows crowing outside, so bear with me. But I don't even feel like with this routine it's the specific products I'm using, it's more just the little technique tweaks, I would say, and I'm gonna try to pack as many of them into this video as I can because I really want to show you guys these little differences and changes I've been making that have made such a huge difference in my end result. Okay, so anyway, let's get started. So first of all, this is a rough time of year for skin. It's dry, it's cold. If you've made it through unscathed, then you're very lucky. I have not. This, which I thought was a breakout initially, in my last video I talked about it, seems to be more of just like eczema, like all over through here. It's itchy, it hurts. I do have to go to the dermatologist. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know that that's what it is, but I have a sneaking suspicion. And you know, it's just that time of year. Dry patches, redness, and makeup is just not quite agreeing. So I'm gonna tell you like what I'm doing differently to fix that problem. Right out of the shower, I'm using my Cetaphil Moisturizing Cream all over my body, and then I even use a little bit of this on my face and extra on these red sensitive areas because you just wanna get it good and moisturized like no later than 3 minutes after getting out of the shower because your skin is already like sucking for moisture at that point. I typically do like a second moisturizing step, either using the Farmacy Halo, Honey Halo Moisturizer, looking like a TikTok girl in my pool noodle. And the one moisturizer I've been working into the mix lately and loving is this Trinny London Bounce Back moisturizer. It's great for AM or PM, and it's so cute. I just love it. But it really does make your skin so bouncy and glowy. And I'll just use a little bit right before makeup. See how that's so pretty? It absorbs right in. It feels so nice. I've gone back to using a setting spray to prep my skin. This is the MAC Fix Plus, and I used to do this religiously and then kind of got into a thing where I just couldn't really be bothered with it. And once you go back to it, you realize what a difference it makes. I do spray it upwards because I don't like getting it in my hair too much, and take a brush and disperse it evenly in downward motions, or you could just spray it right onto a brush. So I know a lot of people just spray it right on their face, and that's totally fine. However, it is a liquid, so you're gonna have little droplets, tiny little droplets. It's just not gonna be perfectly even. I find I get a much better result when it's evenly dispersed across my face. And the other key is using downward motions with this and all of your complexion products, because that's gonna smooth down everything. Any kind of little peach fuzz, anything like that, it's just gonna be perfectly smooth and it always ends up looking better. I'm gonna do a little bit extra right there on those areas that are dry. Creates sort of a stay fresh seal on your face so that your makeup isn't going directly onto your skin. It's not going directly onto those red irritated areas. So it's just gonna sit a little bit smoother on the skin and not grab onto dry flakes or dry patches or anything like that. So this is the mini size of the Saie Glowy Super Gel in the shade Starglow. I literally just use, that's almost too much, just the tiniest bead of it. And this is the prettiest, glassiest, bounciest product. It's so pretty, and I especially love applying it under my foundation. I just think it looks so beautiful. It's almost like using your foundation as a filter over top of it. Really does give you that, you know, lit from within look, if that makes sense. And it's just so gorgeous. If you've been watching my videos since the summer, you have seen this product, but I just never give it its own time in the sun to shine. And this is the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. This is actually an SPF 30, and the shade that I use is 1.2 Goatland, I believe. I feel bad that I never feel super compelled to talk about it that much. I don't know why. I just always like kind of skip through it. And to be honest, I'm running out of it, but I never really hear anyone else talk about it all that much either. But I just have to say, it is one of my favorite products. It's creamy. I never have an issue with it getting along with other products. It looks good with everything. It just sits on the skin so nice and looks like a natural skin. It's like a full-bodied tinted moisturizer. So you just get a little more with it, and it just has that like extra little glisten factor with it too when you're blending it in. Again, I'm trying to remember to do downward motions. So it really does work so well with a glowy base routine. So I found that the best concealer for this right here for my face is the Liss Beauty Concealer. I use the shade MN1. I especially love it for right here because I just apply it and then blend it in, and I never have to go back in. It's just like one and done. I will let this sit for a second while I do my under eye concealer. So this is the Exa High Fidelity Color Corrector in the shade Pink. I was seeing this all over Instagram last year, and so I ordered it, and I thought it was okay. But how I was applying it was under my concealer. I would apply this, blend it out, then apply my regular concealer and blend that out. But when I started doing this technique recently, it just made all the difference. It was like an aha moment, a light bulb went off. This is how I'm gonna be doing my concealer until further notice. You can take whatever your favorite concealer is. The one I've been using lately is the Kosas Revealer Concealer in 2.5C. So instead of applying them separately, I mix them together, and you create your own little brightened, color correcting version of your favorite concealer. I just love doing it this way. It makes an insane difference for some reason. That is honestly crazy. I feel like my under eyes never look this good with the first like pass of concealer, and then I'm just gonna tap this one in here on my trouble spots, and that is incredible too. Pretty impressive. I feel like with things like this where you have texture or a lot of redness, usually it is not a one and done situation. You sort of have to lightly build lighter layers, but that concealer is so good. So if you're finding that your concealer isn't sitting correctly on any kind of trouble areas like this, that's when you would go in again with your Fix Plus, and it'll just kind of honestly fix anything like that. I do, if I'm going for a glowier look, I do tend to use the Saie Sun Melt Bronzer in the shade Baked more often than not, because it does just melt in and it gives a bit of, you know, more hydrated look to the skin. I saw a makeup artist on Instagram doing this, and she kind of took the bronzer a little bit up into the under eye concealer. Tennille? That's right. But she was doing that, and I actually realized that I was just naturally doing that recently because I wanted everything to sort of work together a little bit better instead of just being this bright under eye. I wanted it to feel like it was a part of my face, if that makes sense. So just keeping in the same vein of creating your own little custom brightening shade like I did with my concealer, I'm gonna do the same thing with my powder. So I have some in here. So I finally went through all of my Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the lightest shade, and I've switched one up to number 10 Fair Light. I actually feel like this one matches my skin even in the winter better. And then take the Huda Beauty, this is the Cupcake Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder, and this one got more of a pink undertone. It's not really showing up on camera as much, but it's definitely more pink. So I'm gonna tap a little bit of that into the cap too. I'm gonna mix those together, and I am eventually gonna get another container to keep these in so that I don't have to do this every time, you know what I mean? But just doing that makes your setting powder under your eyes just a brightened version of itself. The Huda one is so nice, but it is so much more messy, and the scent isn't my favorite. So in the ratio of the two, I like to keep the Maybelline one higher. And for the rest of my face, I like to use the Kosas Cloud Set in the shade Breezy because it just takes away any shine but keeps the glow. And this is a Milk makeup brush. I tend to avoid these areas with the Cloud Set. I put down powder everywhere else first, and then I'll go just lightly over top. So this next one is like so crazy to me that this is my new favorite blush. And I'm sure you guys know this one. It's the Benetint by Benefit. This has been around for what seems like the beginning of makeup time. It has always been there, just kind of in the background. I kind of just like wave to it from afar, like, hey girl, how you doing? What's up? But never really used it. I maybe tried it a couple times. I always wanted to be that cheek stain girl. I felt like every time I used it, it just wasn't like, it didn't pop for me. So I kind of just gave up on the cheek stains, and here we are. Apparently now I'm a cheek stain girl. I just recently tried this, and I was blown away. I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. I don't remember it being so like having that little cushioniness to it. I don't know, I just don't remember that. But I'm just gonna go in and lightly blend that out. It's so pretty, and it does have a little extra glowiness that I just don't remember it having before. Everything I'm putting on my cheeks, I'm also just brushing over my brow bone and the center of my hairline. And also a little bit on my chin and across my nose. Now, the one thing I don't really like about this product is the rose scent. I am just not a fan of rose scented anything. I just never have been. It's not my thing. I like fresh cut roses, that's one thing, but I don't really like rose scented products. However, I don't find that it lingers on my face at all. Within seconds after applying it, I don't smell it anymore. The only place I notice that it lingers is on my makeup brush, but I'm not sitting around, you know, sniffing my makeup brush, so it doesn't really bother me at all. And so I apply it to the center, and then I go in and just line my lips with it, and then tap that in. This isn't gonna be the end color, but it's nice to have that little base of rose pink, candy apple pink down, just so that if your lip color starts to fade throughout the day, you have a little something underneath. But I really like to take, you do have to check and make sure you have all the edges blended out of this, because it will, you know, cheek stains a little more potent. But I will take my Merit Cheeky Blush. It's got a little bit more of that hydrated like slip to it, so I'll apply it right on the top of my cheekbones, and that just brings back even more glow. Put it down. And if this looks really pink or really red on my skin, cream cheek products do sort of soften over time, so it's okay if it looks a little bit bright at first. I'm gonna pause and just do my brows because I have to just do them really quick. So I'm already losing my light. It is 2:30. No, it's 2. This is ridiculous. My brows are on. I think they're looking okay. I'm gonna take my Neutrogena Smoky Kohl eyeliner in the shade Dark Brown, and I'm gonna tightline with that. So once I have tightlined, I'm gonna curl my lashes, and I'm gonna tell you guys the life-changing thing I've been doing differently that some of you guys may already do. For my case, I'd be looking down into a mirror, curling my lashes, and I didn't realize I was holding my lash curler completely wrong. And when I started doing this differently, my eyes look completely different with makeup. My face looks completely different. It just looks like I'm wearing false lashes. Like, I don't know how I realized I needed to do this, but thank goodness I did. So I'll take my Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curler. So you want to take it and hold it up to your lashes. Now what I was doing was just this, okay? And this is gonna seem so simple and like duh to a lot of people, but I was just holding it like this, and what you really want to do is tilt it up, like tilt it back and then squeeze. And obviously be careful. You don't want to pull your lashes out. You don't want to pinch your skin, but you shouldn't if you're doing it properly. So give it a couple squeezes, and you're not going to notice a big difference yet because I don't have mascara on. But I'm telling you, this is like the life hack of all life hacks. It changed my life. Okay. You kind of like push your lid back a little bit with the top almost. Tilt it backwards. It's like I have pretty long lashes. I use castor oil on them sometimes, but I just felt like it never really translated in my pictures because they weren't like sticking up enough, you know? And now when I apply my mascara, it is such a huge change. You can really see it. It makes such a bigger impact. And I do apply my mascara from tip to roots. So doing that application technique with the combination of just that small, most subtle wrist movement, just tilting my curler back, gives me the longest lashes. It's like a false lash look. It's crazy. Next, I'm gonna line my lips with the Rare Beauty Kind Words matte lip liner in the shade Gifted. Then one of my top favorite products of 2023, this is the Innbeauty Lip Glaze in the shade Candy Apple. I love this so much. I use this every day, like multiple times a day. Don't leave home without it. And I've just been loving a nude, not a nude, sort of like a brownish meets reddish, a really glossy lip, and this is the glossiest. So, you know, you have to have a really kind of glowy lip to complement your glowy skin, right? I also never apply my lip products evenly, ever. So I always have to double check it because 9 times out of 10, this side is always lower. I don't know why I do that every single time. I usually do go back in with my Fix Plus then because, like I said, sandwiching everything together, I don't use a brush this time, but I just go all over with it. That does meld all of your products together. It makes everything look like skin again, especially if you've been using a lot of powders or matte products. This is a great one to use at the end. So that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm telling you guys, this is just probably one of my favorite foundation routines I've ever had. I just think that just doing small things differently technique-wise can make such a huge difference. One small little change can really change the look of your makeup. And when you feel like you have it just right, that feels good, and it makes you just want to experiment even more with your makeup and sit down and play around with products, and that's kind of like a good place to be, especially at the start of a new year. So thank you guys so much for checking in with me, and as always, I really appreciate your support so much, and I hope you're having a great start to your new year, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye.